All right. I think this is live. Let's go. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to figure out how to make sure this is working here. All right. Let me just go ahead and get this notification out. Wow, this streaming really messes up my computer. There you go, Mark. All right, I know it's working. Is it smooth for you, Mark? Is the video smooth? Hopefully. Let me know, cause it's not, my computer's not liking the stream too much. Okay, it's smooth. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna start in a minute here. How's your guys' Sunday? Going well? Got that Hawks dub. I'm happy. I have no clue if this is gonna save or not after either. I don't know. Okay, I have DVR on. Hopefully that works. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just jump into stuff that I'm looking at in probably 15-20 minutes. We can get into anything you guys want to look at and I'll break it down for you. So I'm just kind of gonna go over my watch list. First one's gonna be Activision. Activision has been one that's kind of been coming up after a really bad downtrend. Some bad news and stuff, and so it's kind of getting back on the uptrend now. It's broken this big channel that it had here, and it's starting to make higher highs. So this one is looking to fill this gap and get to a 50% retrace. So I'm looking on Activision. There's a breakup candle here, and these two pivots, and so I'm looking to come back to hopefully come back towards this level and also the trend line, and look for a swing entry on that one. So this looks like a really good setup to me. Again, it doesn't totally follow the market. It kind of does its own thing. So this is a good one. I'm looking for this really at this breakup candle low, about 56.5. So keep an eye on that one. Next one, this one I really like is O'Reilly. O'Reilly had a gap up after positive earnings, and it broke, about an 8-month consolidation period here. And ever since it gapped up, we can see it's just been consolidating, going sideways, hasn't come back down to test the breakup candle low, which is positive. So I basically just have this trend line marking this flag that it's in right here, and we can see it's holding this lower level very well with a breakup candle, and now we have a bunch of inside days. So this one may play out this week, it may not, but this is one of the top setups I'm looking at. If this does happen to break and close a day above this trend line, and certainly above the trend line and the inside bar, I'd look for O'Reilly to make new highs and probably continue up to where this trend line would go, which would be quite high, 460, 470. This thing could really run. So this is one of my top plays. Looking for a big breakout on this one. Let's go. I'm kind of looking at a few here. Starbucks, McDonald's, Lowe's, Nike. These are some consumer stocks that are kind of starting to get going again after they struggled for a bit. Starbucks, we can see here, broke this downtrend and has been flagging for a really, really, really long time. And it actually recently broke out, if we go down to an hourly here, of this flag here. And it held up really nicely Friday. I'm looking for Starbucks to definitely see some upside. It is a bit of a slower mover. So this is a swing. It could be played intraday, but it really is a pretty slow mover. But I'm looking for this to get back up to this top trend line here and maybe make new highs. It's a little too early to tell, but that's my views on Starbucks. Quickly go through those other consumer ones. McDonald's is another one, same story, came back, held trendline support. It's really been struggling to get away from that trendline support, and we finally did on Thursday last week. Same story as Starbucks. Had a really nice Activision. They make COD and they make WoW. Yeah, they make a lot of games. I mean, they're not a bad company, right? They're a good company that will go up in the long run. So Activision's good. McDonald's, kind of same story. I'm looking for it to get back up to this level up here, this breakdown candle / gap. One of these levels, we can see it broke downtrend, and shortly after breaking that downtrend, we saw a pop off of that lower trend line. So this one, I'm also looking for about $5 to $10 of upside. Looks really good on McDonald's. I'm not positive it'll go to new highs, but it's McDonald's, right? It's definitely a long bias stock, so we can look for that to get a 205 to 210 perhaps this week. Lowe's, really good. My computer is bugging out, dude. It does not like this streaming. Anyways, Lowe's gapped up, made a new high. This one, it looks okay. It really needs to see a pop above the 121, 122 level to be in play for me. But regardless, it looks good. It's not getting rejected from this level, and it had a really nice pop on Friday off of this gap, which finally got filled. So potential upside in Lowe's. And as you can see, there's a trend line top here that it really struggled with, and now it's been hanging over for like 2 or 3 weeks. So watch for this potential upside over 121, 122. And then the last one was Nike on those consumer stocks here. Nike broke this rising wedge-ish pattern and has really just been hanging up here. Right, it looks really, really strong. I'm looking for this one to kind of just slowly grind higher. If you guys can try and get in this one around the 100.4, the bottom of this breakup candle, really up to this pivot. Those are some a good entry area for Nike. This one should just keep grinding higher until and unless it gets back below that trend line. Next up, let's go with I'm looking at a few different out there stocks. The tech stocks, they look like they're going to see some downside. The market looks like it can see a pullback. As I'm making this video, I think the futures are down, 0.4%. So we can see some pullback this week. So I'm not focusing too much on tech heavy stocks, too many stocks that move with the market. I'm really liking a lot of retail. And then obviously the defense stocks have been hot, right? LMT, and you look at Raytheon, RTN. Those are the stocks that I'm definitely watching for day trading. Whether they come down and it was a false breakout or whether they keep going, these are going to be volatile. They're going to have a lot of volume. So definitely keep your eyes on the defense stocks. Okay. Couple other cool setups I'm looking at. Macy's. This has obviously been getting shit on ever since forever. And this has just been a company that's been going down the drain. But guess what? Most of these companies that are still hanging around, they often see what like to call a revival pattern. And they will come down a long downtrend, and they'll finally reach a really solid base where they'll basically start flagging. And a lot of people will be like, oh, it's probably a bear flag, like it's going lower. But this is actually it's a base pattern, right? It's forming a bottom, getting ready to push back higher. And we can see last week we actually broke this pattern, and I'm looking, it really would have been a good entry Friday, but we can still get a good entry on this. And as long as this doesn't come back below the breakup candle low and close daily below that, then this is good for a swing. There's two gaps here at the top, 1785 and one right here. This would be a really nice play if it gets to this second gap, guys. That would be an amazing play. There's even another one all the way up here. Who knows? But these can actually be really nice plays. So look for this one. Look for an entry close to where it is now. This is one I'm definitely going to be taking. I like the look of it. It's a bit riskier because of the nature of the downtrend, but I've played these patterns before and they actually tend to work out pretty well. So. Okay, really quickly, a couple more so we can get to anyone that wants to maybe break down anything. Here's GD, General Dynamics. These last ones are going to be some industrial companies because industrials have actually broken out last week. That's mostly due to the defense stocks. But I looked through a few others and there's actually some setups that could work with this industrial breakout. So here's one, GD, General Dynamics. This one recently had a short-term trend break. There's a longer-term trend up here as well as a pivot. This is really a shorter play. I'm probably just looking to day trade this on a break of these highs, or perhaps on a pullback I might buy down at this breakup candle low area, trend line area. That would be a good spot to dip by. You're really close to risk. And then look for a push up to this area, this pivot up here, okay? Next, Rockwell Automation. This one looks very good. This one had a gap up, positive earnings, and it's back at the highs here. It's back at the highs, and it has an inside bar, right? It has this bar here. Every bar has been inside. I forgot to set an alert on this. Set your alert at 206 on Rock. This one looks incredible. Yeah, looking for a breakup, and yeah, that will be well, it won't be to all-time highs. Let's take a look at a longer chart here. Okay, so not quite all-time highs, but this can push the all-time highs, and that still gives a nice $5 move to the highs, and maybe it'll go on to make new highs. It definitely could after this large trend break and the pattern that it has on the daily here. Very bullish, guys. Apple did this a lot in the past month or two. A lot of moves up and just completely sideways. This is a really bullish pattern called high basing. So yeah, keep your eye on that. And last one here, ROP, Roper Technologies, another just very classic breakout. This is also an industrial company, I believe. I don't know. I'd never heard of the ticker before I found it, but I mean, this is just a beautiful break here. Yeah, this is definitely industrials because this is kind of the pattern that industrials had, a big break up here, and this is one it's still at a very good entry. This one could be, I mean, this one's got a lot of room. 363. Here's the nearest breakdown candle, excuse me, up to 375. Right, so you've got $10, $12 of room. If you can get an even lower entry, it's a pretty gold play right there. So yeah, these are all plays that I'm either looking to do short-term swings on. Maybe some will turn into long-term swings, and then the ones with less profit margin, I'll just be looking to day trade this week. But yeah, there's not a ton of good setups on big name stocks, so I kind of dug deep this week, and these are the plays that I found. So if you guys do have anything you want me to break down, go ahead and just comment it, and I'll go ahead and break it down. But that's all I really have for my stuff this week. One I am still keeping an eye on is Facebook, because we had a weekly break. It's hard to see with these lines, but these trend lines here broke